to the Undiluted Corner, where truth is our refrain. Relationships, health, and wealth, we're breaking every chain. Wherever see, join the talk. In this corner, we unite. The Undiluted Corner, where we shed the light in the Undiluted Corner. We explore the three relationships, health and wealth. Set the spirits free to turn up. Let's embark on this ride, the Undiluted Corner, where perspectives coincide. From love to grace to health, we grace and wealth in every form. In the Undiluted Corner, authenticity is the norm. We'll laugh, we'll learn, we'll share it all. In this lively space, join the conversation. Let's make life's journey a thrilling chase. From heart to heart talks to fitness motivations, navigating life's maze, uncovering destinations. No topics off limits, we'll cover all stations. Every episode brings fresh insights, no hesitations. This is the Undiluted Corner. Raw truth, real conversations.
Welcome to the second episode of the podcast geared towards the improvement of wealth, health, and relationship for all men of all ages. This is our second episode of the Undiluted Corner. In our first episode, our topic was, do women and men desire the same things from relationships? It was a very interesting episode. But, before we get into things, Andy, what go on?
Yeah, blessings in my boss. I'm there, go and take it easy. How you stay? Good, sir?
Yeah, man. So everything great, man. How the day go so far?
Well, the day has been a rough one, but you don't know. We can't ball.
Well, okay, yeah, man. We are push through. So tell them how them can reach you,
So guys, you can reach us at the Undiluted Corner on Instagram. And our email address is the Undiluted Corner, the number 7 at gmail.com. Again, that's the Undiluted Corner on Instagram. And the Undiluted Corner, the number 7 at gmail.com.
Also, you can hit us up on YouTube. Of course, you can hit us up by subscribing to the Undiluted Corner. And of course, you can we encourage it for you to go into the comment section and, state your views there. And we will try and engage you as most as possible.
Yes. Like, subscribe and share as usual.
Yeah, man, and importantly, set your notification to all so that whenever a new episode is uploaded, you just get it instant right away. So on our second episode of the Undiluted Corner, we are going to focus on red flags.
Yes, red flags and how we navigate towards
healthy relationship.
Yes, I.
Very interested.
Interesting indeed.
Raw truth, real conversation. So, my virgin Andy.
Yes, I.
How you define red flags?
All right. So, to me, red flags are any indicators, that would probably throw the relationship out of balance and potentially be harmful to the relationship. You know what I mean? And those are some, I guess I would say, pain points that I believe any individual needs to actually try and address before even engaging in relationships. You get me? And I find that a lot of times as well, people tend to kind of mix up what red flags are versus what incompatibilities are. You get me?
Yeah, man.
And just to kind of touch on what incompatibility are, probably going back to even compatibility. Compatibility is when, both persons choose to kind of coexist in the same space. You know what I mean? When you have similar goals, you have similar values and all of that niceness, then you probably can make something work. You get me? So incompatibility on the other hand now would be when you really assess the goals from both parties, or the likes, dislikes, all of them stuff. And you find that, boy, we're not really there on the same page still, You get me? Another point I would like to also make is that from just looking at, whether or not, like from us, all right, red flags would more be something that you would say, it's that's more like an objective way of looking at things, while incompatibility is more subjective. You get me? Because incompatibility, again, would be based upon beliefs and values and stuff like that. And I mean, that varies, you know, everybody have
From
different-
person to person.
From person to person. So everybody may have different values or belief system or whatever it is. But when you look at red flag, that's more universal things where, you know, it just not gonna work in a certain, well, not even certain, it just not gonna work in a no situation or no relationship. You get me?
So the red flags basically would be characteristics of someone, personality, that would prevent them from forming any kind of relationship that is functional.
Precisely.
Right. While you would say then the incompatibility is basically persons who have different ideologies, different outlooks on life, and therefore because their mindset is really different, then it is very difficult for them to coexist, as I mentioned, with compatibility.
Precisely.
I mean, reasoning with one of my colleagues earlier, you know, I pointed out a situation where an Adventist woman, you know, liked a Pentecostal guy, and it was difficult for them to forge a relationship because the Pentecostal guy has his own interpretation of the Bible, while, of course, someone who is a keeper of the Sabbath would not believe in celebrating Christ's birth at Christmas and even the religious festival Easter.
Yeah.
So within that context, there, right there and then, you will see an obvious struggle. So that would show, you know, where they would be incompatible, because even when you look at the potential for them to raise a healthy family, of course, how would they now decide where worship happened for the children?
And what value system
and what
and so
value
on.
system would they imbue into these children, given the fact that they are from different end of the religious spectrum? While no, you look at it now, the converse, where red flags is concerned now, you're looking at someone who has a superiority complex. And what do we mean by superiority complex? Superiority complex, you're looking at someone who believes that their opinion, their value system is superior to the person whom they are with. So when you have someone like that, that's definitely a red flag, because what happened with someone who has a superiority complex is that this person now is unable to demonstrate empathy. And in any relationship, empathy is very important.
Yes.
Right, because empathy now means that you now would have to reach across to understand the other person's perspective, even where you don't necessarily share the same opinion, but having an appreciation of your partner's perspective, it then enables you to make compromises where necessary. And someone who has a superiority complex definitely cannot make any form of compromise.
Yeah, and I mean, just before you even go any further, Ali, you see the example here is just now really the couple, one being Adventist, one being Pentecostal. So that's a perfect example of the incompatibility. And just to kind of, you know, expand a little bit more on that example.
Yes.
If for argument's sake, we know that's the situation. In the relationship, you know that this person is 7 days, you know that you're Pentecostal. Now, you want to actually try and compromise. I mean, I put that in a quotes, right? Because, and we're going to touch upon compromises further down in the conversation. In trying to compromise on something like that, probably one or both parties don't wish to, you know, have the conversation required to reach to some level of compromise. That lack of communication would be a perfect example of what a red flag would be.
Yes.
You get me? So even though the situation itself, the situation that is presented is from a perspective of lack of compatibility. But the mere fact that we can't have a proper conversation to even, decide whether or not we go forward or we just call it a day, that lack of communication would be flagged as a red flag.
Indeed.
You get me?
Indeed.
Because in any relationship, if you can't have a proper communication, then you really you not even have a basis for a relationship. You get me?
So you have a situation where two persons are, instead of talking to each other, they're actually talking past each other.
Yes, and even from that point there as well, because I think communication is a term that is used rather loosely, or I wouldn't even say loosely, but I don't think persons generally understand what is entailed in communication. You get me? Because communication, yes, is you talking with each other and sharing points and all of that. But I look at communication even further than that. You get me? Because yes, we're having the verbal communication, but also communication it involves non-verbal. Mm-hmm. Now, an example of that is we're having a discussion. Yeah, all right. You're having a discussion with your partner, and you're bringing across a serious point, but your body language or you're probably saying it with a smile on your face. She probably won't take you serious.
Yes.
So yes, you may be saying something serious, but how you bring it across, or the non-verbal language, she probably don't take you serious. So I think both of those go hand in hand. If you're being verbal, the non-verbal have to match that.
Indeed, and then you look at the non-verbal again, and you're bringing it home to the millennials and the Gen Z. You might be talking about something that you believe it's a serious matter that requires full attention and participation, and you realize that the person is there texting away or laughing because there's a funny video on TikTok or something, and that indicates that the person's mind is not present.
Precisely.
So that's another way of showing disregard, and the non-verbal is not taking place. And earlier, Andy, we were having a conversation and you touched on something about also listening, how listening is important.
Yeah, man. Yes. And I was just about to get to that because I pretty much looking at communication on like three pillars, right? Mm-hmm. You have the communication, which involves the verbal and non-verbal. Mm-hmm. You have the listening portion of it. Mm-hmm. Because, talking to somebody just for talking's sake, with them not listening, or if they are listening, but listening to react rather than listening to understand, which is going to be the next, the final pillar to communication. Mm-hmm. Because, we can be having a conversation, but we want to make sure, say, whatever may I try to bring across you, that's the understanding you get. Mm-hmm. You get me? Now, again, having the conversation, you're not listening, or the non-verbals that you're pushing across, they don't match, or the non-verbal that I'm pushing across, they don't match with the verbal, or the understanding that you're getting is not what me I try to convey, then communication is effective.
Indeed, and I want to mention about the listening as well. When I talk to a lot of guys around my age and so on, sometimes we're playing some dominoes, sometimes, in the halftime break, watching a Champions League match or something, they would bring up stuff about their relationship, and they would be saying that, their spouses or girlfriends complaining that, hey, you're not opening up to me and all of that, right? That is what my friends would be saying.
Yeah.
But then they are saying at the same time, when they come to talk, their partner would listen for about 2 or 3 minutes, then make the conversation about themselves.
Yeah.
So the issue is, if you are listening and then you are making the conversation about yourself, then the person who want to be listened to at that particular point in time does not get a sense that they are being heard.
Yeah.
Because you would have made the conversation about yourself. So that person walks away from the conversation not fulfilled, and that is a big red flag when it comes to person's ability to effectively communicate
Yeah,
within
yeah.
the framework of a relationship.
Yeah, and you touched on it earlier as well, where you mentioned lack of empathy, because a lot of times as well, you may have a complaint as a male in the relationship, right? And as you say, rather than looking at what is being said, you kind of take that now, or the female probably take that, or vice versa. One of you guys take it and kind of make that complaint about yourself. So rather than trying to address the issue that at hand, have two issues, because we have the issue that the person is complaining about, but then you kind of spin that off to kind of put yourself in the position, so that now becomes another issue. So rather than dealing with one issue, we now have two issues, and nobody is listening, nobody is trying to appreciate whatever the other person is going through. So now the objective was to come and hash out this one problem. Now we don't talk, and none of the problem they know did, and the two problem we know have.
Right, because by the other person who you would have gone to relate some issues with, bring up other things that you did not contemplate. So you find out that there is too much to be able to deal with at that particular point in time.
Yeah.
So you end up not resolving anything
at all.
You're bit off more than you actually can chew.
Yeah, I bite off more than what we can chew. Yeah,
indeed. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and I mean, the lack of communication sometimes as well too, you may find that it leads to other red flags, like disrespect. That's probably something coming out of communication as well. And again, not everybody take certain things lightly. Everybody have a different view towards certain things. Now, Mary may be a little bit more coarse than Jane. Now, both of them can be bringing across the point, but Mary, again, being a little bit more coarse, she probably sound a little bit louder. She probably come off a little bit stronger. As a man, you kind of take it as a disrespect. See, not knowing that, boy, Mary never have no intention at all to actually make you feel that way. So that, again, coming from communication, it can be looked at as disrespect. And you can explore disrespect on a whole heap of different levels. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is you have to really just try to understand from different persons' perspective. And that is why understanding, again, is so important in communication. You get me? Because you don't necessarily want to say, all right, I saw me talk, and just know, say, yo, I saw me rough and saw me this. Different persons may accept that or appreciate that differently. You get me? So you have to understand, say, all right, Tom may take things different from how Harry take things. And I can't pre Harry as soft and Tom as hard or nothing like that. You get me?
So sometimes, as they would normally say, is not what is said, is how it is said.
Precisely.
Because you don't want to come across as if you are belittling the person.
Precisely.
Who you are talking to.
Precisely.
Because sometimes, good intentions don't always give you good outcomes when you have communication happening that type of way.
Yeah.
Right, so, yeah, man, I mean, those are solid points, Andy.
Yeah, man. And I mean, even we kind of, I think we kind of go in depth in some of these examples. But you have other examples out there, like controlling behavior that definitely would come across as a red flag, because you don't necessarily want anybody where I go look for come control you, whether you're a woman or a man. You get me? Even though what I find is that the controlling behavior generally is stemming from a deeper issue. You get me? And controlling behavior sometimes can also lead to abuse, whether it be physical or emotional or mental. You get me?
Yeah, man. But pause on the control behavior there, because just playing devil's advocate though. Now we have to make the distinction between being dominant and being controlling. So how I look at it, how I see controlling is when there's a situation where you have a party who cares not for the other person's opinion within the whole relationship.
Yeah.
This is what I say goes, and I don't weigh the merits of your opinion. That is how I see controlling. Now, dominant is basically, to me, more nuanced. So while that person plays a lead role or plays the lead role, that person is willing to factor your opinion if the person thinks that, you know, it will inure to making better decision for the overall well-being and welfare of the relationship on a whole. So I think those are two different things, and you know, sometimes women don't know how to balance it, and sometimes men don't know the difference through a myriad of issues.
Yeah.
I can tell you sometimes a man is dominant, and based on the fact that a woman come up from a home, because we know how the parent-child relationship is. So if she comes from a household, let's say, let me paint you the picture. Let's say her father abandoned her, and she was raised by her mom alone, and her mom put the Miss Independent thing in her head. You know?
Where they sing from the last time.
The last time I don't want to risk it, you know, because I hear say when I sang the first time, some of the viewers and listeners catch flu, and I don't want that happen this time. So yeah, I'm not going to draw. I'm going to resist it.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Obas. I am going to throw me out.
To draw for that new song. But what I'm saying is that, I mean, a girl, you know, growing up, her mother would have drilled into her head, make sure you be independent, don't depend on a man for nothing, don't do this, don't do that. So when she is in a relationship now, and you know, there is that power struggle comes up, because she is with someone who is socialized that as a man, you should ensure that you are providing A, B, and C. Yeah? And, you know, the guy wants to do these things. He feels like he should do these things. But she also believes that this is her responsibility. And in many instances, the guy, you know, just automatically makes some decision, feeling proud as a guy. But then, you know, she feels insulted and believes that he is dictating how the relationship goes, you know. So I think sometimes, even though the controlling and, you know, dominance is different, sometimes persons within the relationship framework can conflate both, and what was not meant to be a red flag end up becoming a red flag.
Big red flag too.
Yes, man.
Yeah, because oftentimes as well, you kind of go back to parenting. And you're going to find that parenting when come up a lot in this episode, because most of the red flags, if you really look at the root problem, it goes back to the home. See? So oftentimes, again, you may come across a man that is, since we're on the dominant topic, sometimes you may find that again, going back to the home, you may find a man that is overly, I don't even want to say overly dominant, but him kind of cross the line now and reach controlling behavior. That could be a case where, you know, probably him father never did it, or one parent never did it. You get me? No, what we realize is that it's like any other thing where you're making, you know. If you make some concrete, zine, and when you go so bomb, you don't really have much cement, then the mixture now come out good. If you don't have enough sand, the mixture now come out good. If you don't have enough gravel, the mixture now come out good.
Yes.
The same thing with parenting. When you have too much of one, or if you're overly dependent on one, or if one don't do it, then the mixture now come out good in the virgin. You see me? So again, the man probably him probably have a controlling behavior, because again, probably him mother never did it, and just him father him raised with. So him not have that little soft skill about him. So, sometimes again, men probably impart certain things differently from a woman, a woman. See? Now, again, a man way of showing love, he might go show hard love. While a woman way of showing love, it will be a little softer.
Yes.
So, again, him getting too much of probably him father way of how to show love, probably make him, come across as controlling. Or if him father did gone and a mother way, him probably come off as a little bit too soft. You know what I mean? Which is like two opposite end of the spectrum. We really know one for them.
No.
You get me? So again, having the right mix from both parents, not, and I'm gonna say this now. We don't want it to be a case where we are put the blame on parents still, for your life. Because yes, the parents have a huge role in playing.
But at some point.
But to some point. Because as a man or as a woman, you have to take the responsibility in your life.
Indeed.
You know, say, watch out. Yeah, say me come here and never the best circumstances. But me nah go say, boy, say mommy, you make me be like this, or daddy, you make me be like, no, we can't. It's gonna come a point where you have to move away from them type of thinking. And say, yo, a year life this. You see me? Because I look on it now, and I don't want to get too spicy on the episode there still,
But it is what it is.
But it is what it is.
Yeah, man, everything undiluted.
Undiluted, see?
Everything undiluted.
No, as a woman sometimes, I remember putting it on the man's side.
Yeah.
The man probably know I blame him father. If he say, boy, daddy, say, are you make me not come after nothing good and rare. But Virgin, you they are engaged in a sexual activities, I mean, no, and never your old man will and say, watch ya, I saw you do this, I saw you wind this up,
exactly.
I saw you not tell you nothing like that. But you know.
Yes.
So the point where I try to make is same way how you know how to do that. Or you know how to do any other thing without your father or your mother telling you.
You can take charge of your own destiny.
I know you have to do that
you
because a year destiny that.
Indeed. Because what tend to happen, what tend to happen is that some of these men, to women as well, what tend to happen is that they become codependent. Yeah. So them start feel as if they own the person who they are with, and them become codependent, and because of that same abandonment issue. So that has to be dealt with, and I don't want to go deep into every solution here, but one of the things that I have always suggested to people who are in relationship is that, look, your relationship is important, but find some activities outside of your relationship that bring meaning to your life.
Yeah, man.
Meaning.
That is a must. That is a must, Ali. That is a must.
Because when the times get tough in your relationship, if your whole life revolves around your relationship, then you're going to be in big trouble on a psychological level.
Yeah, man.
And if you cannot handle your emotions properly, you may act out in ways that you might damage your partner, meaning abuse and all of that. And you may even get in problem with the law and so on. So that is why I always encourage mostly men, because I have a lot of friends, coming from JC, Fervet, Opus and Campus Street.
Yes, I.
Yeah, man. So generally encourage the guys. Look, I mean, I know that have some of you married, you have a family and thing, but still have some form of circle. Maybe if you have a circle of guys who are into cars or into football or find something. Maybe you want to join a service club or some form of association, community association. Find something to do outside of, proverbially running home 7 days a week and twice on Sunday, to ensure that you be with your wife or your girlfriend. Because I tell you, even the woman, the woman love when her man has a passion for something else,
Yeah,
and
man. Definitely.
you're working towards fulfilling that purpose.
Definitely, brother.
So it helps to have some things outside of your relationship that bring meaning to your life.
Yeah, and I mean, even though I'm not sure if we should quantify them as red flags, but you see that point that you touched on just now, Ali, just having something outside of your person, those are little things that sometimes we tend to overlook but are very important. You get me? Because as I said, the lack of motivation, the lack of having something outside of the person, when you're hot and cold, the whole of them little things they may not pop out as red flags, but are some very critical things where you definitely have to think about. You get me? Alright. Another thing also,
it could be considered as a red flag as well.
It could be considered as a red flag because
maybe based on your personality, people don't like to deal with you.
Precisely.
So, and this is the thing, that sometimes fools a lot of persons. You say, hey, once this person deal with me good, I don't care about the person relationship with other persons.
Yeah.
You don't care about the perception of the person in their community, in their workplace, in whatever other circle. And you're just concerned, say, hey, him deal with me good, so me alright. No, you can't look at it that way because at some point the tarantula change color. Yeah. And then you start getting the same kind of treatment.
Yeah, man.
Mark, in what they typically call the infatuation phase. Yes?
Yes.
You believe that the person can do no wrong.
No wrong.
And,
Jesus.
when you're looking through rose-tinted lenses, these are the things you cannot spot. Because, as Junior Gang say in one of his songs,
that one I'm a boss.
You're in too deep. Yeah.
Belly full of butterflies.
Yeah, man, you're in too deep, man. Yeah, man.
Hey, you can pinch a butterfly, go over there.
Yeah, man. So, you order your Chinese, your Chinese special fried rice from Dragon Court, but when she call you, you no longer feel hungry.
No, so
you're in very deep. So these type of stuff you tend to miss. So guys, you just have to be careful and ensure that you have that type of circle outside of your relationship and even the person who you are with. It is always good that they also have a circle.
Yeah, man. Because I mean, if for argument's sake, you're dealing with somebody and then tell you, say, boy, so me not have no friends. I mean, that kind of scary still, because why you not have no friends?
Yeah, man. That's scary.
And again, that can have like really deep implications to it because probably, you probably not have good relationship with people, full stop. See, or it may be a case where you know like accountability and you know like nobody correct you. So, and again, that's another problem. You get me? You also have to look on the relationship with parents because I take them things they serious still in all.
Indeed.
You see me? If you are gonna have a certain type of relationship with your mother or father, I mean, every situation different still. You get me? Because one thing with me, I always look on the why behind things.
Why?
Me not just write off things and write off people or situations. More have to understand the why. No matter what the wrong you do, more understand the why.
Yeah.
You get me? Because you can go back to even Robin Hood.
Yes, man.
Yeah, him a thief, but him thief failed the poor. Me not say it right, but at least now me understand the why. And
even with wars and where some organizations are classified as terrorist organizations, they have this saying that one man terrorist is another man freedom fighter.
Precisely.
So there's always a why.
Always a why.
Perspectives.
So me not bash a man if he not necessarily, or bash a woman if she not necessarily have the best relationship with the parents. But that not necessarily means say you have to deal with them without respect or without empathy when they need your help or all of them things. Because if that's actually who brought you here, and you're going to deal with them that way. What will really stop you for dealing with me any type of way? You get what I'm saying? So, one, again, work especially if you have a good relationship. So you have a good relationship with your mother or your father. But at the end of the day, some of the time you deal with them with no respect.
Yeah.
Then me go feel out, me in the back of my head, me I say, Jesus, what is for me now?
Yeah, because if you can deal with moms the way
Yeah, it's just a matter of time before you explode by me.
Yeah.
You get me? So,
there's a time ticking grenade.
boy, me I tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you listen closely, I go hear it still.
Yeah, indeed. And then the next thing we really want to mention is inferiority complex.
Yes.
Some persons, have great deal of insecurities about themselves, and because of that, them say, hey, me never think, Mary say, hey, me never think John would like me. Because me little bit overweight and whatever. That Mary I say, or Mary look on the fact say she have 2 children already and all of that. She have come into the relationship with 2 children. Why John would like me and things. So she have that inferiority complex, and it make her very, very insecure. Insecure, or she believe that she and John is not on the same intellectual level. So it make her feel very insecure. Now, what tends to happen in those situations is that the person who suffers from the inferiority complex, once you're having, it creates, and you spoke to it earlier, communication gaps in communication. It creates a gulf in your ability to effectively communicate, because whenever you are critiquing something, whenever the party who view themselves as inferior, when that party does something which is critiqued by the other party, that party don't look at it as a fair criticism or just fair comment. The person look at it as bashing. Oh yeah, bash me. Oh, because you're better than me, or because I am not tertiary educated, or because you work with this company or you work with that company or whatever. You are in. You see that. So the inferiority complex is a big thing. That level of insecurity cause a lot of relationship to go awry. So people have to ensure that, whenever you're courting, dating, whatever word you want to call it, or whoever you're pursuing, that person should have a level of confidence in themselves. That person should feel worthy. I mean, if you hear if you're dating, the person say, why you like me and me know in a yearly?
Yeah.
Or no, sir. you don't want no girl with this, or or in the woman case, in the man case, the man would say, no, but you have some money what me can do for you.
Yeah.
That. Whatever, you understand?
Yeah, like you don't put much value upon yourself.
Right, yes. So anybody you see self-deprecate, talking about themselves in a lesser way, I mean, that is something that is definitely a red flag, and you have to look out for that. Because a lot of time that manifests itself in that person being very, like the whole self-esteem that can become a dragon, because that person is always toxically sad. Always believing that them have to prove overly, so that person go out of the way to prove that they are worthy. That person might want to that person might feel uncomfortable in your social circle. It might become even it might get so bad that that person might want you to detach from the rest of the world, because they have a thing that is a misery loves company. So that person now can't stand the fact that you are so confident, and that confidence now just push the person further and further in depression, and you constantly have a fight with that person.
Yeah, which I mean, that confidence really should have rub off on them.
Indeed. But because of where them starting from, where they are, them naturally feel insecure.
Yeah, starting point is wrong. And you mentioned even being criticized. I mean, for me, criticism is not always a bad thing because you have constructive criticism,
Indeed.
which I think is very important. You get me? Because at the end of the day, you know, you're in a relationship as well, you're not gonna always have everything going right, or you're gonna want to hear, you know, something from your partner. You want him to say or she to say, watch out. You know, say, tell me what you think about this, or tell me what you think about that. And you don't want somebody where them can't manage the criticism, because then rather than taking what I say and try to build upon it, you're gonna take it as me bashing it. You get me? I don't necessarily want that. So just to kind of spin off on the same inferiority complex where I mentioned, you want somebody where can actually manage criticism, because criticism actually helps it to make you grow. You get me? So somebody who can't take criticism, brethren, it gonna be a big problem. You get me? I mean, with that said, we know say with those red flags we really are touched upon. I mean, you wouldn't necessarily know a lot of those red flags at the initial stage. Most of those red flags would be coming out like when you actually start to date the person. You get me? You've established. I mean, some of them would be coming out like the lack of communication or stuff like that. But there are other red flags that, like from the get-go, week one or couple days, you can actually identify and say, no man, this
I hear you mention one today, and I really want to delve into it, you know. The love bombing.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, the
it's
love
a
bombing.
Serious thing, you know, man.
Al-Qaeda bombing said.
Yeah,
I want you to touch upon that.
Yeah, because, all right, you have some people, right, where I think them believe, say, boy, you know, once them can provide something for somebody, regardless of how quick we know you, that I go actually help to build the attraction or build the connection.
Yes.
And because you have some people out there doing some crazy things in there. Some crazy things, I tell you,
Buy tickets, send people gone and buy in
the first week. Like, seriously? Did you boy, baby boy, I love you in the first week. Why you love?
Run up credit card.
Yeah, you're gonna buy big grocery and you do the most just to get the person validation. Why? So them thing that as we say.
Tattoo name per hand.
In our face. So I mean them thing there from the get-go, you can definitely see. I mean you meet Jane meet yesterday. And by the time she reach her work, a morning, flowers there on her decks. You do too much beat. You get what I say? You don't necessarily need to do so much yet. So that tends to even turn off persons when you want to become love bomb, or when you get jealous too easy. I mean, first week again, and you start to get jealous about certain things. You want the person to prioritize you. You know, in them
answer
thing.
them phone call on the first ring.
But how me call you this today, you know, answer me. Well, you know, easy. If you can't phone after that. And at the first week. So them little thing there, again, oftentimes we tend to overlook.
Yeah.
But them still, alright, my thing is not Ali.
Yeah.
You see, when you overlook red flags, in my mind, that is you just delaying the expiry date
of the relationship. The inevitable.
The inevitable, bro, because trust me, when you have a red flag where definitely this thing has stand out.
Yes.
If you not end it today, 10 years down the line, it will end for that same reason.
Indeed.
You get me? So we as human beings, I believe we just need to be a little bit more rational rather than making the heart take over in the first couple weeks or so. The infatuation. Use the head to man.
Yeah, man.
You get me? We can't make so much decision around the heart, but use the head.
Man.
Is this thing really gonna last? Me know say me in a church and this woman is a road woman. Is it really gonna last? When it really goes and wait up, it not gonna last, you know.
Not gonna last.
So watch a man. Before we even go no further and nobody start, you know, whole heap of emotional pain and thing. Make we cut it here, so.
Alright, so but before we jump off here now, man, we have to touch on things where, you know, people can do for, you know, get the healthier side of things.
Yeah, man, definitely we want to delve into that because we beat the unhealthy part, but still, you know. Yeah, man. So we have to kind of delve into more at the healthy side.
Beat it like a slave on Kensington Estate, yeah? I tell you. Yeah. So what we have to do to get these healthy things? So first thing when me say, you know, Andy.
Yeah.
Is the uncomfortable conversations is what really make relationship work for the long term. So the first recommendation me have, you know, is to have the uncomfortable conversation from early.
Up front. Yeah, man.
Don't wait.
Yeah,
This thing where a lot of person have, where them say, hey, me I go with the flow, go with the flow like flow.
No, man, that can't work, man. Mm-hmm. Why sometimes if you even see which part the river flow and which part it end, you want to see it more time. So nobody go with no flow, man. Take up the thing in a hand and know, say, watch out. Yeah, if you had date with an intent. So if you date somebody because you want to reach marriage stage or you want to build a family, get them uncomfortable conversation. That's something I like still in early.
Yeah, man, have the uncomfortable conversation early.
We could deal with it up front because trust me, that's supposed to determine the next move pretty much. You get me?
And when me say if somebody feel upset because because a lot of time, you know, I mean, worse if you're there out there, because me know how you go for a man, sometimes you're there out there and you have a dry spell. Yeah?
Yeah.
You have a dry spell, you're not score no goal, nothing. You just really want to get back in action. So you become a people pleaser where you become this white knight. I know what I mean by become this white knight. You try not to make the person uncomfortable because you say, hey, you don't want to chase them away. So you become very, very agreeable even with things that, you know, don't suit you. Don't suit you, and you end up working overtime to try to change the person, which end up don't work. So why not just not have the early conversation and the early uncomfortable conversations, yes?
Yeah, man.
And if the person is very evasive and upset and agitated because you're having this early conversation, and I'm going to borrow my brethren Curly Locks from Twins of Twins phrase. Sometimes you just have to be like a good hospital and admit that the relationship not going to work.
Yeah, it does not work.
You just become a whole KPH man and admit that the relationship it not going to work because, you know, the red flags are just out there staring you right there in the face.
Precisely, and I mean, if you want to bring up the conversation from early and you see, say, is either the person wants to sidestep it or the conversation itself just not going away. Again, that's the red flag for say, all right, me I go wave it here so still, you know, call it a day, move on. I mean, it probably sound a little bit harsh still, but I just that approach we have to take towards relationships and towards life. You know what I mean? And you see, on that point as well, Ali, what me strongly believe in, you know, is that, you see, what is for you, never ever feel forced.
True.
You get what I say?
So, organic and natural.
Organic, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, man. Undiluted, man. There we go.
No fertilizer, Ali. It just grow and it grows strong and it grows natural.
Yes, man.
You get me? So you don't necessarily need for brother, you having them uncomfortable conversation there. Trust me, when you find the person who have you, them uncomfortable conversation, they become nothing at all. Yeah. Because the person actually are pre the same thing or pre the same way like how you are pre.
Which is right.
Which is what you want in the relationship. You get me? Other healthy things we're looking for would include honesty, transparency, respect.
Yes.
You get me? Compatibility. Because I'm like compatibility. I mean, I like all of them still, you know.
Yeah, man.
But you see, compatibility, you know, earlier we mentioned something about compromise. Now, for me, I think we did have this wrong, where a lot of things, where a lot of pain points, or a lot of things where we would have probably considered to be red flags. They say, boy, you know, say me like her and
yeah, me can't afford to lose her.
yeah, me can't afford. Me know say she kind of don't know if it talks, you know. She
look curvy like a real
Yeah.
Me can't lose her beer.
Me can't lose her. Me know say she lack communication, you know. But Ali, she thick. Jesus.
Tick like molasses.
Me not even gonna say
Tick like a clock.
she thick.
Yeah.
You get what I say?
Yeah.
So we are saying, Jesus, you know, say she can't reason with, you know, but brother, I'm going to look past that, because all I hear it is when she walk past, she just shake down the whole place. You understand? But bro, we have to make sure again,
Jada Kingdom heavy.
Jada Kingdom style, you know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
But bro, again, we have to make the tough decisions from early. Because if we don't, all we are do, we just have to put it out.
Delay the inevitable.
You are delayed the inevitable. Now, for me, again, compatibility is very important, because you see, when you are so compatible, there's less things that you have to compromise on.
Exactly.
See, now compromise for me, the point when I make earlier when I say, yo, me did have it wrong, is that sometimes we tend to want to compromise on some solid things, bro, which we cannot. Because look on this.
So we need to have non-negotiables, eh?
Non-negotiable after tonight. Because watch it now.
I must state those from early.
And it go back to boundaries. If we have our boundaries in place, if you are going to push me if you go against my boundaries, and me I go push you if you go, it not going to work.
Not going to work.
You get what I say? Me is a man, alright, fine, you probably use a own body, Ali. And your woman again is a road person.
Yeah.
Me now tell you say it can't work, you know. But again, the problem there, we could just avoid it from here. So.
Yeah, man.
Don't bother say, yo, again, she thick. But me not go rest her, she thick.
Yeah, man.
So yo, me gonna try make it work. That's just problem we are taking on by ourselves. You get what I say? For me, compromise supposed to be some simple things.
Some simple thing, man.
Where you say, you know, eat pork, alright, watch out. Me not go cook no pork.
Oh, you like your pork.
Oh, you like your pork. You know, say, me like my beef well done. You like your mid-rear or whatever.
Alright, so here, today we are going to do it your way.
Precisely.
Because I don't like so me can't eat it.
Exactly, brother.
It's just that me prefer it a different way. And the next time, it go my way.
Exactly.
So small things.
Some small things that them they really
man, for the more granular things them.
Yeah. You know, look for compromise on beliefs and morals and boundaries. Them things they're non-negotiable, my G.
Yeah.
You see me? So me definitely have a touch on that point where, Brethren, if you can be as compatible as possible, and the little things them you compromise on, fine. But never you compromise on values, morals and boundaries.
Which is right. So it look like we are getting the wrap-up signal. Again, Andy, great reasoning.
Yeah, boy, may I tell you.
Yeah, man, it's such a joy always to sit down with my brother and hold a reason.
Yeah, man. And good discussion, my boss.
Yeah, man, second episode. And again, more, you remind the people them where them can find you, know?
Yeah, man. YouTube, the Undiluted Corner. If you're not subscribed yet, jump on the YouTube, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell, and you know, whatever videos they want to like them, comments, keep them coming, because trust me, we are trying to incorporate the comments as best in our episodes as well. See, also on Instagram, it's the Undiluted Corner, and then you can also reach out to us via email at the undilutedcorner7@gmail.com.
Yeah, man. So before we go out, make we give them the team raw truth, real conversation.
Yes, I. So blessings again in my side. Until next time, take it easy, man.
Undiluted.
Undiluted Corner, where insights abound and perspectives are born. Relationships, health, and wealth, we've explored them all. Until next time, let's continue to stand tall. Subscribe, share, and keep the conversation alive in the Undiluted Corner. Which you thrive until we meet again. Let's keep our hearts light. The Undiluted Corner, shining ever so bright.